Alright, so I'm back doing math videos, and today I want to talk about one of Terraforming Mars' most underrated corporations, Septem Tribus. Or Tribus, who knows. So yeah, this corporation can basically ramp up to 12 production in Gen 0, as in you get them in Gen 1, which is like unprecedented. And so, I mean, it's not free, but yeah, let's take a look at it. So it starts with pretty low cash, 36, but then the ability reads tap to gain 2 for every party with at least one delegate. Of course, there are 6 parties, so you can at most gain 12. And of course, remember that you can place delegates for free once every generation, and then pay 5 for each additional one, and that this isn't a standard project, so it can't be discounted with standard technology. And so basically, I think this bonus is broken. I think it's the best economic bonus in the game. And there is some nuance to it, like you're probably less likely to become chairman when you're maximizing the bonus. But I wanted to do a math video focusing mostly on maximizing the bonus and how much can you get and how does that compare to other corporations, right? And so there's 2 things I want to see. One, how do you maximize it? Like, what's the optimum way to place them to get the most money at the end of the game? And 2, how does it compare to other economic bonuses in Terraforming Mars? So let's take a look. Okay, so let's see what we have here. And basically, again, if you've seen any of my videos, you know I have the generations here. On the left, I usually go up to 10 because that's usually as far as games go. The thing is, it doesn't really change much after that. Pretty much after Gen 6, we don't really need to see a lot. And then, so I'm gonna have here the total delegates, the amount paid for those delegates, the bonus, and the total money that means you get the generation. So for example, if I place 1 delegate, that's gonna be free, right? I'm gonna get 2 from my bonus, and the total is 2. And then if I instead place 2, right? So now I pay 5 for 1 delegate, my bonus is 4 because I have 2, and the total is -1. And then if I play 1 the next generation, then you know the total starts update. Sorry, I play 1 means I go to 3. Then the total will start getting positive really quick. And yeah, that's basically what we're seeing. So maximizing this is actually a pretty simple equation. I mean, I like to do it with Excel because that way, you know, it's more visual in the video, and you can also see where you are at each generation. Like you can see if it's front-loaded or back-loaded in terms of income, and so on. Okay, so let's look at some basic rules on how delegates pay off. So if you pay for 1 delegate, meaning you pay 5 for it, it's gonna take 3 generations to pay off, right? Why? Because you get 2 for the delegate every generation. So if I pay for 1 delegate here, and then I get 2 here, and then I get 2 here, so I mean I stay with 2. At this point, this delegate paid off, right? Because I gained 2 from it here and here, which means that playing that delegate in generation 4 would have been worse, right? So if I had gone 1, 1, 1, and 2, see, I'm at 6 here, right? So instead, here I'm at 7, and here I'm at 11, right? So basically, any delegates that you want to place 3 generations from now, you can play now, and you'll gain mega credits. The other rule is basically if you can place it for free next generation, you should do that, right? So it's better to go, let's just delete here. I can go 6 here, and then I'll still have 6 here, but I could also just place 5 here, and yeah, I'll just use my free one in Gen 2, and then that's better. Of course, if you do 6 here, the thing is that it's also one of them is gonna win, right? So you still have to use your free one here, so 6 is not what you want to do. But basically what I'm saying, if you place 5, and you gotta do it in a way that you don't place it on the winning party, which is not hard because you can stall a little with Septem Tribus, and people tend not to place that many delegates in that generation, then you can get to 6 in Gen 2, and that's better. And then because they haven't paid back by Gen 3, So if you go 4, 5, 6, that's still better than 5, 6, 6, right? That's 14, that's 15. And then you go 6 for the rest of the game. So basically with that, you probably already figured out that this is the most optimum way to place your delegates, right? And that would be your bonus. Now, what I see people do very often is the 6 play, right? Which will get you 95, which is really good as well. But, and just to show both extremes, the other thing you might be inclined to do is to just use your free delegates every turn. And as you can see, it's not a big difference between like going all in on the first gen and going very slowly. Basically, by Gen 4, you're ahead here, and then you end up being ahead by 5 by the end of the game. Basically, you're ahead by 5 in whenever this catches up here in Gen 6, and then they both produce 12, and you're always ahead by 5, sorry. Now, just to be clear, 90 is an insane amount to get from your bonus. It's quite literally insane. And the way you play Septem Tribus is usually, whatever party wins, you're now left with 5 delegates, and now you place your free one in the party that won, and now you have 6 again, and you get your bonus. So once you hit 6, you can always stay at 6. It's quite easy. You're not gonna win a lot of elections, but you get an insane economic bonus. And so, just to have an idea of how insane 90 is on this low risk, like no investment method, if you were playing, Lakefront, maybe Lakefront's a bad example. If you were playing Poseidon with 5 players, and every player places 2 colonies on the first generation, which including yourself, which would give you 10 income, for the next 9 generations, you'd get this 90. So with an insane Poseidon start, you get 90. If you want to see the optimal one, the one that I did, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so that way you get 99. To have an idea of how insane 99 is, if you were playing Aridor, which has the best production bonus in the game, and you played all 11 tags in the first generation. Remember, the event tag doesn't count, and the wild tag doesn't count by itself. If you played all 11 other tags in the first generation, you'd get 11 production for 9 generations, which would get you to 99, right? So just by doing this right, which is not hard, you'd get 99. But by doing it in a mediocre way, you'd get 90, which is still insane, right? That's Poseidon playing 10 tags in the first generation, and that not maybe you're not playing Venus, not Poseidon either. So bottom line is the bonus is insane. Now a few quick things. There's more to the corporation than that. So for example, you have a total of 7 delegates, which means once you hit 6, if you're doing this, you can have at most 2 delegates in another party, which means you have to win parties with 2 delegates, which is not easy. It can be done, and you'll win a few, but you have to be very opportunistic to do so. You can also just try going for 5, and if you go for 5, then the optimal way is, let's just do it here to compare, 3, 4, 5, and then 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So basically what you're doing here is you are keeping 4 delegates constant, and then you're trying to place the other 3 into a party to win, and with 3 delegates you're usually going to win an election. And then after that party wins the election, the next generation you still have 4, so you can get to 5 easily, and then influence the election in another way, right? So probably not you're not going to win every generation, but if you keep 4 and then replace the one you just won, or the one that just won the election, and just do the same thing but keep a party empty, the bonus is still insane when you optimize it, right? So yeah, I still think this is broken. Like with 3 delegates, you can definitely influence elections, and you're basically sacrificing 15 cash, but 15 cash out of an insane bonus. Because 84 is still insane. Nothing gets you that. Now you can also add, okay, that's true, but it starts with 36, which is fair. And like, you know, Credicor, for example, starts with 21 more, right? And so if you subtract 21 for this, you get 63. Which divided by 4, which is Credicor's bonus, you'd need 16 cards to have more. 16 cards of over 20 to have a better payoff with Credicor than Septem. And Septem has a wild tag. So that's how good Septem's economy is. Now, yeah, the starting cash is a valid point, but I just don't think when you couple even when you couple starting cash with bonus, there's very little corporations that get close. Maybe Viter, and well, Manutech's bonus, which is hard to quantify because it's also plants and stuff. So Manutech could be the other economic bonus that's insane. But even Aridor, which I consider one of the strongest economic bonus of all, it just like you need to play all 11 in the first generation to be as good as Septem. And again, yeah, Aridor starts with more money, but not nearly. You're never gonna do that, right? Now, finally, I want to talk about the worst scenario, because I do see players do this, and it's funny, but the worst thing you can do is just place your free delegates, and then when you have money, go for all of them, right? And as you can see, you get 13 less, and you're behind 13 from Gen 4. Yeah, so being behind in Gen 4 by this much is really bad, because you're basically behind from very early in whole game, right? And the reason people do this is like they're usually, you know, a little broke and trying to play other production cards or other things in Gen 1, and so they just use their free delegate, and then by Gen 4, and I use this example because it's actually the worst. Then they decide, okay, now I have money to place them all, and then they place them all, and that's actually the worst thing you can do, and it's like the second most common thing I see people do with Septem. So that's funny. And the reason it's worse is because, remember, the delegates that you place here, 4 generations, are the ones that you can place optimally here, right? So those 3 additional, I mean, you're paying for 2, those 2 additional delegates that you're paying here, those should go there, right? So it is the worst, but I see people do it, and it is significant. 13 is significant, especially when you're behind. And the reason it's a mistake, you might be saying, okay, but they probably played some more cards. Well, first of all, by Gen 2, you are already only 3 ahead. But second of all, there is no more efficient card than playing a delegate for Septem Tribus. You're paying 5 to get 2 immediately. So you'd have to play a card that's worth 5, including the costing, the cost to buy it, and then you'd have to be Manutech because you want to get that 2 cash on the same turn where you play it. So you need a 2 mega credit, 2 production card, and be Manutech to basically be as efficient as placing a delegate that you can't place until 4 generations later. So I just think that's important to point out. It's like paying 5 for 2 income that it's also immediate, not even wait to next generation. There's nothing more efficient than that in the game. So by all means, always do this. And remember, if you do the optimal one, you're only investing 15 into delegates and you start with 36, which means you can actually buy 7 cards, which is, like, I rarely go that high. And then after you buy those 7 cards, you spend all your money on placing delegates and tap, and you'll get 12, and you can actually play an additional card after that. Sorry, you get 8, and you can actually play an additional card after that. But yeah, you can totally keep 7 cards with Septem, which is high, pay 2, get your free one, and then pay 3 more for 15, and tap, get 8, play sponsors, and yeah, and then you're basically gonna be at 12 production in a couple of generations. But anyway, that's all I have to say about Septem Tribus. I hope you enjoyed my video. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's broken too? And yeah, till next time.